Scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back with another album share for you today. For this one, I'm going to be showing you the first album I made for my son. His name is Jonas and it's from October to December 2004. So he was born, and this is the first page you see. He was born October 25th, and this is one of the pictures that the hospital took. I think it's just a like a piece of card stock or something, because that's like not the greatest picture, but I just wanted that to be the first page. And then over here it has all of his information and everything about, his dad, me, where we were married, how much he weighed. He was 7 pounds 7 ounces, 20 inches long, and then we blessed him on November 14th of 2004 and by his dad. We don't do the whole godmother, godfather thing. And then here's his footprint. His little cute footprint. Okay, so this is the first page, and I don't know if you can tell, but he had some problems when he was born. He was born with Spina Bifida, and we had no idea about it. If you don't want to listen to the story, then fast forward, because I'm going to tell you his birth story. And if you don't want to hear it, then just, yeah, fast forward. So, yeah, I went into labor. Everything was fine. Then when he came out, he had a cyst that was about this big on his back. Like right here on his back. That's why he has this little cover there. They were covering it up so that it wouldn't open and all of his spinal fluid get everywhere. So he should have been born via C-section, but my doctors had no idea that he had spina bifida. And so he was born vaginally. Luckily, his sac didn't burst or pop when I was pushing him out or anything, and so he was okay. And I don't know if you're religious. I am. I'm Mormon or LDS, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like there were, God was watching over him, because there were so many things that could have gone wrong. His sac could have burst. Like he could have had no movement in his legs, everything, but the doctor pulled him out, and immediately you could tell something was wrong. The doctor turned him over and was like, oh, like he has a cyst on his back, and I'm not, like he said, I don't know, what it is, if it's, myelomeningocele or, whatever. And I was just kind of like, this is my first baby. And I was young. I think I was 20. I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was 20, 21. And, like, I was just like, what? Like, he's not okay. And so the doctor was trying not to freak me out and freak my husband out. And my mother-in-law was there. And so, yeah, it was kind of very, very scary. Anyway, let's get back to this. So this is his first pictures. They had this little oxygen little tent over him just to make sure he was getting enough oxygen, and they put like some stuff on his eyes, I guess. But this is him in the nursery. They had to take him to the NICU after he was born, so I didn't even get to hold him or anything. After he was born, they immediately took him to the NICU. So the title is Jonas's First Pictures. His name is Jonas, and I had a little stamp that was from Stampin' Up, I believe, and it was just like a baby stamp. So I just kind of journaled about, the problems and things that were going on. Then these are all of our hospital bracelets. I had like 3 of them, I believe, maybe just 2, and that was them cut in half. And then this was Jonas's crib card. Oh, this was Mark's bracelet, I guess. So he kept that for me, and I just journaled about how he knows me well enough that he kept the bracelet. This is the one that they had on Jonas after he was born. Oh, I did have 3 bracelets. Um, so yeah, I guess one of them was for penicillin because I'm allergic to penicillin. But this page was pretty simple. Just wanted to document the bracelets. Okay, now this is us at the nursery. So after he was born, I probably waited about 2 hours after he was born until I got to go finish or go see him. And this was our first family picture. This is Mark blowing up the little cushion because I didn't want to walk, and so they had a little cushion for me to sit on in the wheelchair. And then this is Jonas being prepared to leave. So at this time, we lived in Rexburg, Idaho, which is a small, teeny tiny little town in Idaho. And they did not have the right kind of doctors to perform surgeries and things that Jonas needed. And so they were going to life flight Jonas down to Primary Children's Hospital, which is in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. And I was not going to go with him. I had to stay behind in the hospital for the night just so they could watch me. And then they were going to let me go the next day. But Mark, thankfully, was able to ride with Jonas. And so this is the life flight nurses getting Jonas all ready to go. And this is me and Jonas, mommy and baby. And I was able to hold Jonas right before they left. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm crying because I get to hold my little baby for the first time, and then I had to let him go. So yeah, that was kind of an emotional moment for me. Then here is him in his little incubator. The nurses laid him down on his stomach, and they had his legs stretched out, but he immediately pulled his legs under him, which we all thought was just so cute. So they had him in this machine, hooked up to this machine, and then they left. I think it was probably about 10 o'clock at night. He was born at 8, and then they came and left probably about 10 or 11. Okay, then this is my room the next morning. I stayed in the same room that I delivered him in. They didn't like switch me out or anything. I think it was just such a small hospital that you labored, delivered, and recovered in the same room. So this was my room with my breakfast on my table. And they also, this is the pump that they gave me because I was determined to breastfeed him. And so I had to pump the whole time, like since he was gone and he couldn't breastfeed on me at all, like I had to pump. And this was a hand pump. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad to hand pump it. Like it hurt my hand, it hurt my boobs, like it was not fun. So sorry if that was a little too much information there. But here I used a stamp to kind of decorate and outline these papers and everything. The next day, my mother-in-law, after I was discharged, I think I was discharged around lunchtime, my mother-in-law and I drove down to Salt Lake to meet Mark. This is Mark, my funny husband. He can always, find happiness. And he's always trying to make everybody happy and funny. And then this is kind of the page that I made to just kind of describe the whole story. I won't read it to you, but that's just kind of what I decided to do. And it was a long story, so it was 2 pages long. So I kind of made the pages look the same and, was trying to be creative and everything. So this is the map of the hospital. Well, this is the 4th floor. We were on the 4th floor. I don't remember how many floors there were. But the 4th floor was the infant NICU, I believe. Yeah, infant unit. And this was our little area that we were staying at. And this is the picture of the outside of the hospital. The emergency room entrance is right here. The regular entrance is over here, which you can't see. Grandma and Grandpa Blethen. So Mark's mom was with me, and so she came down and stayed. And Mark's dad came down on Wednesday. Jonas was born on a Monday, I believe. Maybe it was Tuesday. I don't remember. I should probably look that up. But anyway, so he came down, I think, the day after I got there. So I think he was born on a Monday. And then his dad came down on Wednesday. And then he was being formula fed because I wasn't producing enough yet. And so they were mixing formula with breast milk for Jonas to drink. And this is my Aunt Maria and my cousins Hannah and Bailey, which if you've seen my wedding album, you would have seen them in there too. They were so awesome. Maria, when she found out, decided that they were going to drive up and visit with us. And they live down in Vegas, which I think it's only like, I don't know, maybe a 5-hour drive. But I still thought that that was so awesome that she would come up and support me and be so awesome. So we were just visiting with them. I love these pictures of Hannah and Bailey, and this is one of my favorites. This is Hannah and Jonas, and it says, "Second cousins are the greatest." And this is Mark with them playing outside. And here are some pictures of Mark being a good dad, changing a diaper. And then he was acting like me, pretending to be me, because I was just in so much pain. Like, I don't know, I just never wanted to be up walking around. Well, not never, like I did walk around, but I often sat in my wheelchair that they got me. And Grandma Gibson and Jonas. So this is my mom. And I love this picture of Jonas just looking up at Grandma like, oh, hi. And this is Jonas, so he's 2 days old here. I think my mom probably got there on Wednesday night, I think. So Maria, which is her sister, my mom's sister, got there Wednesday day, as well as Brett, Mark's dad, and then my mom got there Wednesday night. So these are just all some cute pictures, and I just used the same baby themed stamp set that I got from Stampin' Up. This is Family Gathers. So Mark's family is from Utah. Like this is his mom's mom, and then this is his mom's brother, his wife, and one of their daughters. And I don't know what her name is, so I left a blank there to fill it in, and then I never filled it in. I don't remember who that is. It might be Tanya, but yeah, I'm not sure. But so we took a group picture of all of us, and then Brian, actually, his uncle works at the Primary Children's Hospital, so it was really nice to have him there, and I think he works in like the accounting office or something, so we were able to have him help us apply for Medicaid and take all the billing taken care of and everything, so that was like a huge relief about that. Okay, bath time. Jonas didn't like his bath time. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it straight because I think my camera is crooked, so I apologize about that. There was this cute little boat stamp that I used, and I believe this is with the Versamark stamp set. And I censored it here. Classy, I know. What a cutie. Okay, so the story behind this is since he had his incision on his back, we had to be really careful of where we touched him. I don't think I actually mentioned that. So that he was born on Monday night, life flighted, And then that morning before I got to Primary Children's Hospital, they went in and they closed his back up. They pushed all of the fluid from his spine into his back, and then they closed it up. So now he has a scar on his back that's about this big, possibly bigger, but it was littler when he was, little. But so he had a scar on his back where they put in and had it all stitched up. So we had to be really careful of his back. So this is the car seat that they gave us, and it was a special car seat for him to ride in so that he wouldn't have to lay on his back. And so he wasn't really allowed to be on his back. If he could lay, I don't know, this looks like he's laying on his back, but I think he's really on his side. It's just the way the picture is taken, because he was just always on his side or on his tummy. And these pictures are so cute of Hannah and Bailey saying goodbye to Jonas. So, so sweet. Oh, and that's my phone. Of course it's going to go off, right? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so for this page, my cousins, Bailey and Hannah, drew pictures. So these two pictures are from Hannah, and she drew them and we hung them on the walls in Jonas's hospital room. And he was born October 25th, so it was around Halloween time. So she drew us a pumpkin, which I thought was really cute. And this is from Bailey. And so I didn't really do any embellishing on these pages. I just wanted to leave them simple. Then on this one, the title is Can We Go Home Yet? And for the title, I used some Creative Memories alphabet stickers. And the story behind this is that, let's see, Jonas was having trouble breathing throughout the night on Friday, and we think that the machine was just being flaky, because that's how machines are, especially when they're hooked up to like brand new babies. They're kind of flaky. But the nurses wanted to be safe than sorry, and this was the day we were supposed to go. I believe we were supposed to go home, but the nurses decided that they wanted us to stay an extra day. Mark wrote up this note and left it in Jonas's little incubator. Well, he's not in an incubator anymore, like the little crib that they had him in. And excuse me. So yeah, it just says, "Dear doctors and nurses, I'm fine. I love breathing. Thank you for the care and concern, Jonas." And so I just thought that was funny, so I had to record that. So these are just pictures of us on that day that we were supposed to be going home, but they ended up not letting us go home. So waiting to go home. So this was Sunday morning. So that other day was Saturday, and this was Sunday. Sunday morning we spent waiting to see if they would let us go home. Once we found out that we could go home, that they were going to discharge us, it took 2 hours to get the discharge papers, which is, I think, kind of normal for hospitals. These are just two of the nurses that were helping Jonas that morning and taking his vitals. And this is Mark being silly, and just a picture of me and Jonas, and he's tired of waiting. So yeah, I married a funny guy, and I love it. Okay, so this is us leaving the hospital. So we got, for my baby shower, we got an outfit that said Daddy's Little Pumpkin. Well, it said Daddy's Lil Pumpkin. So yeah, so that's what he wore home, because we were coming home, I believe it was on Halloween. I think that's when we came home. So yeah, this is Mark just getting him all dressed, and this is us walking out. This is all of our stuff and everything, and then Mark is holding Jonas in his arms. And then this is Mark putting him in the car in his new car seat. Nap time. So my mom and I stayed at a place called the Ronald McDonald House, and that was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that we stayed there. And so we had to, before we left, we had to go back to the Ronald McDonald House and like do laundry and clean everything. And like we had to like scrub the bathroom and everything. It's kind of like it's a nice place to stay, but then it's kind of like it's not a hotel. You have to clean up after yourself or you don't get to go back. So well, and I think you also pay a fee if you don't clean up. So yeah, but so we spent I think a couple hours cleaning, and then we finally left Salt Lake around 3 p.m. And this is just Mark and Jonas sleeping and Mark being funny. Welcome home, finally. So we finally made it home that night, and our apartment had been decorated by some of our friends, and my sister Rochelle, I had left my keys with Rochelle so that if we needed anything, she could get into our apartment and send it to us or, whatever. And so Rochelle and our friends, a bunch of our friends, got together and decorated our apartment. So this is what it looked like when you first walked in the door. And then this was like the kitchen and living room area. And then this is us. We had these little blocks that would have like a monthly saying on them, and they made it say welcome home. So I thought that was really cute. And yes, I'm in my pajamas here. I think while we were in Utah, all I wore was pajamas, pretty much, I think, just because it was not a very fun time. And then here's the sign that my friend Cameo made. I thought it was really cute. And then they left us a note, and she just signed it for everybody. And then we had some other friends that were in our building that had left a note on the door, I believe. And yeah, it was on the door. And they had asked the manager to, the women, because we lived in married housing, and so it was like a husband and wife and then another husband and wife. And so the two friends of mine, the women, they asked the manager if they could get into our apartment, if she would open the apartment and let them clean. And so they like cleaned our whole house, which was really, really nice. We were really surprised about that. But yeah, so we thought that was awesome. This is the note they left us. Yeah, so they put away our dishes and, a bunch of stuff that we had left because when he was born, it was a surprise. I don't think I ever said that. So the day he was born, I had gone into the doctor to get a checkup, and my blood pressure was really high. And so they had to induce me because they didn't want it, anything bad to happen. So they ended up inducing me on my due date. My due date was the 25th of October. And, yeah, so we weren't expecting me to go, get induced. And so that morning when I went into my appointment and then we came home, they were like, okay, pack up your bags and then come to the hospital and we'll meet you there. And so I was kind of like freaking out because I wasn't expecting it. I don't know. It was kind of funny. I think Mark got a video on our old time camera, like, yeah, just me freaking out, but anyway, okay, so this is my sister Rochelle and my mom, and so this page is just called Aunt Rochelle and Grandma Gibson. So that night when we got home, Rochelle came over, and she was going to the same school we were. She just lived a couple blocks down from me. So yeah, this is just a fun little page. I did the little tearing, which I thought I was so cool for doing that. And then this is Jonas's uncles, quote unquote uncles. These are Mark's friends and our friends. This is Ben and BJ and then Craig. Craig is Mark's best friend, which we actually still live near him. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, so this was just a fun little page. And I did all of this on the computer. I think around this time is when I started doing a lot of computer journaling. And then Jonas's aunts. This is Ben and Mimi, they're married, and then BJ and Cameo, they're married. And so I think this was the night. Oh, I guess it probably was the night we got home because he's got his little pumpkin pajamas on. Yeah, so this was really fun to visit with them, and I like this page just because it's so simple. Purple's my favorite color, and so I did the dark purple and the dark purple stamp, the flower stamp, and then the light purple. And I was really into tearing too, as you can tell. So, and then I think the next day, this is my friend Megan, and I think the next day she came over and we hung out for a little while. She held Jonas, and so that was fun. Hanging out. So this is a stamp I got, and another stamps, like a alphabet stamp set. So I think these are just a few different days of pictures. I did a lot of tearing on this page, and then some more journaling on the computer. And I believe this was a Stampin' Up! Baby pack that I got, this paper, and then like this little word cutout here. And so I just kept it simple and did some journaling. And the journaling says, Jonas was so small and cute. I think I told you, he weighed 7 pounds, 7 ounces. He was such a good baby. He would sleep through anything. He also loved to look at himself in the turtle mirror. We thought it was so funny that even from like being a week old, I love this picture, he would just like stare at himself and just be like, what the heck is this? Like, it's just so funny. And then we love Jonas. This is another stamp that I had. And then this came in the baby kit that I got. So here's just some pictures. And I believe this is after my mom left. This is probably his second week of life. And my mom, I think my mom left a day or two after we got home. She probably left on like a Wednesday because she got there on Wednesday. So I'm thinking she probably stayed a week. Oh, sorry. Okay, and then here are just some more photos of us hanging out at home. This is Craig, and just hanging out with him on the bed. This is a cute picture. I love this picture. And then this was my monkey that Mark gave me for Valentine's Day, I think, one year before we had Jonas. And so Mark was always putting cheeky by Jonas. It's funny. And then Daddy's Boy is the name of this title. Okay, so the second hospital visit. So we had to go back down on November 5th to have Jonas's stitches removed from his back. And because that was like once he was all healed up and everything. So we went to the Spina Bifida clinic and they checked him out and he was doing great. And so we drove back to Rexburg because we were in Rexburg, Idaho, which is about 4.5 hours, maybe 4 hours from Salt Lake City. And so we drove down there that morning, had his appointment, and then drove back. And when we got home, we were changing his diaper and we noticed that his diaper was wet. There was like some fluid on his back that was leaking out of his back. So we freaked out. We called the ER at our local hospital and we kind of told them what was happening, and they told us we needed to get in touch with our doctor. And so our doctor wasn't on call, but they had an emergency doctor down in Salt Lake City. So we talked to him and he was like, okay, I think he'll be okay through the night, so just come down in the morning, because we were so tired because we had driven all, pretty much all day, 8 hours. And then, so they were like, you get some rest, then come down in the morning. Luckily, Mark's mom was so sweet, and she drove over because they lived in Boise, just outside Boise. So they drove over, and just his mom drove over. And then we all, on Saturday morning, drove down to Salt Lake again. So this is a picture of Jonas on the way, Jonas and Mark on the way down. And then this is once we got there that morning. And this is our sweet little boy. Doesn't he look so teeny? I just miss teeny little Jonas. Okay. I just love these pictures. And this one too. They were tired, so they were just sleeping. And then this is after we got home. So I guess I don't know if I really explained what happened. So you can see here, he has like this bump and then some ugly stitching and everything. So the reason his back was leaking because he had extra fluid on his head. Because kids with myelomeningocele, spina bifida, can often have problems with extra fluid on the brain. And so that's what he had. He had hydrocephalus. And for some reason, instead of his head getting bigger, it was just leaking down his spine and coming out of his back, the incision in his back. And so that's how we figured out that he had hydrocephalus, because his head didn't get bigger at all. Like, the doctors were just like, this is really weird. Usually the way that it happens is their head, tends to get bigger because there's extra water on the brain. So that's why it was kind of confusing and just kind of scary, because we had no idea why it was leaking out his back. So, but anyway, I hope I'm not boring you guys. I'm sorry. This book, I just feel like needs a lot of explanation behind, what happened and our lives and everything. So I hope I'm not boring you. Anyway, so this is after we got home, and he was 3 weeks old by this point, and he would make the funniest faces. It was just so funny, but he was still so cute. And at that time, after we got home, we decided to bless him. So we had his parents come over, and they Mark and then his dad were going to be in on the blessing with him. So this is Mark's dad. Grandma's turn with Jonas. These pages are just really simple and easy. I like these pictures. Bathing Jonas. This page is another one from the Stampin' Up! Baby kit that I got, along with this duck. So we were just giving him a bath before his blessing, and then we got him dressed in his little outfit. And Mark's mom bought his outfit. We thought it was so cute. And then we bought like a hat, and we had to turn it inside out because it was blue on one side, I think, and then the inside was white. So we turned it inside out just so that he would be in all white. And he just is so cute. And I love this picture of us on his blessing day. And then this is the program from the blessing. And here's my sis, Rochelle. She was able to come. And then this is just a lazy day with Aunt Rochelle. She came over and hung out all the time. So that was really awesome to have her so close by. Just some fun pictures of Jonas. And then the week after Jonas had his shunt, we had to go back to Primary Children's just to make sure that everything was working right. So we did that. We drove down and we stayed with his aunt and uncle on Thursday night, and then the checkup was on Friday, and everything looked great. So Friday afternoon we just went home. So, and this is Mark sleeping in a chair at his aunt and uncle's house. And this is driving home. Kisses from Dad. I love these pictures. Even though Jonas is making such a funny face, he's like, what the heck is going on? I just think they're cute. And this outfit was so stinking cute. I had a friend of mine send it to me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So, kisses from Mommy too. So here's some kisses from me. Swaddled with care. This is at Mark's parents' house. We went and visited them one weekend. And Mark thought it was funny to put him in my shirt. And then just to put him in the basket and bring him downstairs. He was just being funny. Naked baby. He's not really fully naked. He's got a diaper on under there, but just some more pictures. This one I called It's All About Jonas. And I just put a bunch of different stamps on it and then left room for journaling right here. So these, this picture, excuse me, Jonas's 0 to 3 months pants are just a little bit too big for him. So at this time, I think he was probably about 4 weeks old. I don't have dates on these photos or anything, but yeah, even then, they were still a little bit big on him. And then this picture's hilarious because he's like choking him to death. Well, I mean, not to death. We kind of figured after that you don't put it like that. But, and then this is Thanksgiving Day in 2004. We went to Mark's parents' house, and this is his brother, and then his other brother and their kids. So this brother isn't married. He still isn't married, and he wasn't married at the time. But yeah, so it's this brother that has all the kids. And this is one of their kids, and she was just helping me with the dessert. A visit with family. And this is kind of funny because Brienne, this is little Brienne, I think she's almost 2 in this picture, but whenever she would look at Jonas and see the stitching on his head, because he still had it there, well, I think he had his stitches out, but you can still see, you know, the scar from it, she would cry and say, owie, and it was so sweet, because she was just so sad that he was hurting, and we kept trying to explain, oh, he's not hurting, but she just didn't understand. And then this is her dad being silly, pulling down her diaper, so I would take a picture of her diaper. Sleepy boys. So Mark used Thanksgiving time to catch up on sleep, and I often would find Jonas and Mark sleeping together. They like to sleep like that. It's very cute. Okay. Hanging out with Jonas. So this is one of my nephews and my niece, and just hanging out with Jonas. This is Uncle Ian with Jonas, and then our nephew and Jonas. And I used a stamp for this and just did some decorating on the page. It's kind of a little weird looking, but you know, I did weird stuff back then. Okay, this page, Jonas and Mommy, I did some stamping as well as writing in the title. And then this is a stamp, and I just fussy cut around the feet and kind of placed them around the layout. And I love the purple and green together. I think it looks really nice. And then this is Jonas. While we were in Mountain Home, we went to Boise to the mall, and we went to Kitty Candid's and got pictures of all of the cousins, and Mark's mom, like, she paid for it and bought us some sheets and stuff. So this is just one of those pictures. I think it's so cute. My little baby Jonas. And this was one of my favorite shirts that he had for Christmas that we got. I think we got it that weekend. We went Black Friday shopping. We left him with Mark's mom and went Black Friday shopping, so that was fun. And then this was, let's see, Jonas on December 30th, 04, and he was 23.5 inches. His head was 15.5, I think. That's what that says. And then he was 11 pounds, 11 ounces. So he didn't grow that much. He was my smallest baby. And then the star of our lives at 1 month old. So this is the 8x10 that his mom bought. Isn't that stinking cute? I just love this picture. And his mouth was like that because we would put his pacifier in his mouth and it would quiet him down and he would be fine. And then we would pull it out and they would snap the picture and then he would start crying. So, but we thought this one was so cute. And then we had to get a Christmas picture, or a picture of him in the stocking. So even though he's not wearing Christmassy clothes, we still got one. And so, yeah, it was fun. And then the very last page is Daddy Decorates the Christmas Tree. So this is Daddy decorating, and then he has Jonas's very first Christmas present. So he wrapped that and put it under the tree. So yeah, that is the end of that layout. Sorry, that one was really, really long. Yeah, you can see that like it's so stuffed to the max on this album. It's funny because now I don't stuff my albums quite as full. And I actually want to start not using the post-bound ones because as you can tell in this album I switched them out for like a different one. I don't even remember where I got these, but I just don't really like the post-bound. So I still actually have a ton of them, so I probably will keep using them for a while, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, so that was my third album share, and this was October through December of 2004. So thanks so much for watching. Come back next week and I will put up another album share. Have a great day. Bye.